What if I told you that nearly every brand you bought today, from the coffee in your cup to the phone in your hand, is owned by the same two companies you've likely never seen a commercial for?
This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the most significant financial reality of the 21st century. We're talking about BlackRock and Vanguard. Between them, they manage over $20 trillion in assets. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of China. They aren't just players in the game. They own the stadium, the teams, and the broadcast rights.
Listen closely, because understanding how these titans work is the difference between being a pawn in the global economy and being a savvy investor who knows where the real power lies. Most people see the world as a competition between rival brands: Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, Apple versus Microsoft, Ford versus GM. But if you look at the top institutional shareholders of these rivals, you'll find the same names at the top of both lists: BlackRock and Vanguard. Why does this matter? Because when you own the majority of the shares in every company in an industry, competition becomes an illusion. These firms aren't just investing in the market, they are the market. They hold the voting rights. They decide who sits on the boards of directors. They influence the corporate policies that dictate how you live, work, and spend. They are the permanent establishment. Let's start with BlackRock. Led by Larry Fink, this firm manages over $10 trillion. But their real secret weapon isn't just the money, it's Aladdin. Aladdin is an AI-driven risk management system that monitors every single asset class on the planet. It processes more data than any government agency. It tells BlackRock what to buy, when to sell, and where the next global tremor will come from. It's the nervous system of the global financial world. Then we have Vanguard. Founded by the legendary Jack Bogle, Vanguard changed the world with the index fund. Their pitch was simple: don't try to beat the market, just own the whole market. Because of their unique structure, being owned by their own funds, they've become the ultimate passive powerhouse. But don't let the word passive fool you. There is nothing passive about owning 10% of every major corporation on Earth. The sheer scale of this duopoly creates what economists call a horizontal ownership problem. If BlackRock and Vanguard own the top stakes in United, Delta, and American Airlines, do those airlines really want to engage in a price war? No, that would hurt the bottom line of the common owner. This shadow power keeps prices high and innovation stagnant, all while staying invisible to the average consumer. But here is where it gets interesting for you, the wealth builder. These firms didn't get this big by accident. They harness the power of the most potent force in the universe, compound interest, and the shift from active to passive investing. Every time you contribute to your 401k or buy an S&P 500 ETF, you are likely handing your capital and your voting power to them. You are fueling the very machine that governs the world. So, is this a threat or an opportunity? As a financial strategist, I tell you it's both. The threat is the centralization of power. When two CEOs have more influence than most world leaders, the democratic process of capitalism is at risk. But the opportunity lies in the fact that these giants provide the ultimate stability. By following their movements and understanding their ESG, environmental, social, and governance mandates, you can see where the world is being steered.
Larry Fink's annual letters to CEOs aren't just suggestions, they are marching orders. When BlackRock says they want companies to focus on sustainability, the entire global supply chain shifts to comply. If you want to build wealth, you don't fight these waves, you surf them. You look at where the institutional shadow power is moving the goalposts, and you position yourself there early.
You have to realize that the free market is no longer a chaotic jungle. It's a managed garden. BlackRock and Vanguard are the gardeners. They prune the companies that don't perform and fertilize the ones that fit their long-term vision. To win, you must stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an institutionalist. You must understand the big three, which include State Street, and how their trillion-dollar votes affect your portfolio. The world isn't owned by governments. It's owned by those who manage the world's retirement savings. That's the reality of the shadow power. They have the data, they have the votes, and they have the capital. Your job isn't to fear them, but to respect the scale of the game being played. Educate yourself. Look past the brand names. See the owners behind the owners.
The era of the individual stock picker is being overshadowed by the era of the institutional giant. But within that shadow, there is a roadmap to immense wealth if you know how to read the signs. This is the new world order of finance. It's time you started playing by the real rules.
Follow for daily wealth-building wisdom.